Well, welcome in, hockey fans. It is indeed another NCAA rivalry weekend. I am here, as you can see behind me, at the Air Force Academy Cadet Ice Arena as we prepare for Air Force and Army, what most people are calling the most special rivalry in hockey. There's a lot of rivalries, folks, especially in college hockey. But right here at the Air Force Academy and at West Point out in New York, the home of the Army Academy, we have something special going on. Not only is this a battle for the positioning in Atlantic hockey, but it's also the battle for pride between the two service academies. We had a chance to visit with a couple of players from each team. We had a chance to visit with the head coaches as well as the voice of Army hockey, Nikolai Buska, was a chance to join us. So we enjoyed the opportunity to do that. We hope you enjoy the special, and more importantly, we look forward to seeing these two teams meet Friday and Saturday night. Both games are sold out here at the Air Force Academy, and it truly is one of the most storied rivalries in all of college hockey, with two of the most storied coaches, Brian Riley from Army and Frank Serratore from Air Force. Stability, discipline, and hard work is what you're going to find in this series, and we're happy to bring it to you here at Ice Time Hockey Southwest and College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Scott Serenity reporting from the Cadet Ice Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Welcome back in, hockey fans. It is the rivalry, the special rivalry. It's Air Force, it's Army. I could not do this without Nikolai Buska, the voice of Army hockey for how many years, Nikolai?
Well, sir, thank you for having me on here. It's a great day for hockey. This is my 12th consecutive season back with Army. I was actually part of Brian Riley's first year as the head coach in the 04-05 season, so a few memories from that season. Came back in 2010. Really enjoyed this opportunity to be around the best young people this country has to offer. And on top of that, with the Riley family, just hockey royalty here in the United States. It's a great job to have, and I'm so glad that we're all back here at USAFA for what's going to be an incredible weekend of hockey.
Totally agree with you. Let's peel back the onion a little bit. You've been flying and up for about 24 hours as we do this interview. Tell me what it's like getting from West Point, New York to Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Well, I'll start where we're doing. I guess it's about 11 a.m. Mountain Time on Thursday as we're getting this started. To give people some perspective, I had another engagement with another NCAA member yesterday evening at about 6 p.m. It was a basketball doubleheader. I live in Opatcong, New Jersey, which is about an hour away from where I was in Hoboken, New Jersey. Decided not to go home, decided I couldn't go to the airport early, so I found a couple of diners and got to spend a little bit of time. So I finally got to the airport at 3:30 Eastern, got on the plane, landed in Colorado Springs at about 8 Mountain, and then had to go to get a car over in Denver, come back here. So I've gotten here on time. It's been fun. It's been great. But yes, I feel like my own sequel to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is coming up for review of the script.
I love it. And below us right now, the Black Knights are on the ice getting their first ice time in. 7,000 feet of elevation. I know it affects you and me. Does it affect the guys?
It doesn't affect me. It does. No, what are you talking about? No, I think we're all used to this by now. I don't think it really affects anybody. I think it's psychosomatic to some extent. Yes, we know that Air Force has a great record of home ice since entering Atlantic hockey, but I don't think it's so much because of the elevation. I think time change and the very, very simple fact of getting on a plane might disrupt that for the opposing team. But for the cadets from West Point, they're used to this by now. For them, this is their Graceland. And when you consider the teams did not play each other last year, for a lot of these young men, this is their first experience. And keep this in mind as well. If you're familiar with the RMC rivalry, they haven't had that this year or last year. So for a lot of these young men, this is the first game of its kind that they've had. It's going to knock off their socks in some respect. And if they're able to just retread and refocus and take the moment and bottle up that emotion properly, I think they will do well with that. But they have to enjoy this moment and the opportunity to sing second.
You know what makes this rivalry special, both coaches have told me, is what happens at the end of the game. They will battle it out for 2 nights, for 120 minutes, maybe more, and then they'll all gather at center ice. You've seen that before many times, so give us your thoughts. What can we expect this weekend, Saturday night, when everything's said and done?
Well, you're going to find that the seniors from each roster are going to come to the red line, I think. They'll stand arm in arm. They will play the alma maters of both the U.S. Air Force Academy, and then they'll play the U.S. Military Academy's alma mater, the West Point alma mater. So the quest to sing second, the team that wins the series on the weekend will have its alma mater sung second. And then after that, they shake hands. Sometimes they have dinner. Not sure if they're going to this time. But the important thing to remember is that they're going to be working side by side at some point. And it's fitting that we're in Colorado Springs, which is a great military market. You have so many Air Force bases, and you have Carson, which is a big military outpost. Yep. There's just so much about the military. It's in the fabric of this community. I think 1 out of every 10 jobs in El Paso County, Colorado, is with Department of Defense or some other military branch. So it's really, really wonderful that everybody's here tonight. But yes, these young men are going to be working together once they graduate and once they join, whether it's the U.S. Army or the U.S. Air Force.
You know, Nicola, I've asked all the players that I've talked to on both sides, what are you going to feel? What do you anticipate feeling 30 minutes before face-off? And they've all given me a variety of answers from, I think I'll be jittery. I think I'll be thinking about things. One of the guys from Air Force told me I've been watching old Air Force Army games all week long to get prepared for this. Your thoughts on what people will feel in that locker room?
Well, if that player from Air Force watches the last time these two teams got together, it was a remarkable exhibition as Army was able to get a late game goal to tie it in the first night, and they went on a shootout goal by Kevin Deneen in the 9th round, and that was the only goal in the shootout. Army won the second game. So if Air Force wants motivation, they can watch those games from 2 years ago that Army won. As for what I think that both teams will be feeling, I think with the players who have not experienced before, they will be nervous. I think that there's no question that this will be a very different environment, and if this place is going to be full, I think that will add to it. For the seniors who have done so much, who have been through this before, I don't expect them to be nervous. I expect both sides to have their leaders ready for the underclassmen to get going. I think that you're going to see in the first 10 minutes maybe some bouncing pucks, maybe some missed assignments, but by the time they take that mid-period break, I think everyone will be rock and rolling, and I think the last 5.5 periods of the weekend are going to be grade A.
All right, final one for you. What do we expect out of Army out here? We haven't seen them. It's been a couple of years or more. What are we going to expect from this team, and how big is this game for Atlantic hockey?
Well, if you look at the standings right now, both Army and Air Force are in the middle of the pack. Yep. Army trails Air Force by 1 point for 5th place, and Air Force trails Sacred Heart by 1 point for 4th place. Yes, the top 4 teams in the league still get second-round home ice, but because it's only a 10-team league this year, yep, the top 6 teams will still get that first-round bye. But I think Army's goals were a lot higher at the outset of the season, and Air Force did not play well first half of the season. They have won 4 consecutive games for the first time since, among other things, they won those 2 games at Army in 2018. So I think for Army, they're looking for some consistency. Brian Riley has said that it's been difficult to be able to have both wins on a given weekend. They would lose a game, they'd win a game. Army needs to find a way to be more consistent. And one more thing, they need to find some scoring. They were able to get a split last week at Holy Cross, but never on any occasion did a forward score at even strength with the goalie in the net. So they have to find a way to get some offense. But I will say this, Gavin Abrick has the opportunity to steal 2 games. He didn't steal either game in Wisconsin in his home state earlier this season. Maybe he gets even, and maybe he makes do here in Colorado Springs.
Well, for all my Vegas fans, and we got a bunch of them, the look is what you told me, the Las Vegas Wranglers. You go back with that too, and Derek Englund and everybody. So give a shout-out to everybody in Vegas.
Well, I just want to tell you that I want to tell everybody in Vegas how much everybody, the academy and the hockey program and the athletic department really enjoyed the Fortress Invitational 2 years ago. Everybody had a great time. I enjoyed the experience. Vegas is truly a hockey market, whether it's just, downtown Las Vegas with that beautiful building or that new AHL building that's opening in Henderson real soon. I feel like as far as Las Vegas goes, it is a non-traditional major professional sports market, but it's definitely unique, and I think that uniqueness will rub off on everyone if you give it some time. It helps that the Raiders had a good season as well, and let's see what else happens with major professional sports. I'm hearing rumblings of the A's. I'm hearing MLS. I'm hearing a lot of things. The UFC is going to have company soon if they're not careful.
Totally agree, and I'll tell you one little secret that's not much of a secret anymore. UNLV is very, very close to becoming an NCAA team. They're going to play Anchorage next year in a series. They're going to go there to play 2 games in Anchorage next October. Anchorage is coming down to play Arizona State, then busing up to Vegas. They're going to play 2 games against one against UNLV and one against Liberty in Vegas. So it's close. It's close, Nikolai. You might be coming out for NCAA games.
Well, I'll say this much. Once Arizona State gets its new building open, you're going to see other potential men's programs pop up. And in the case of ASU, Wouldn't it be wonderful if there was a women's program in that part of the country that would finally, I think, cause a scattering of women's college hockey programs on the West Coast, and that might lead back to men's. You never know. I think that hockey is definitely a sport that's now marketable coast to coast, something we couldn't say maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Well, we could go on forever. We got a lot to talk about. I know my co-host Paul Hornstein wants to tell you hello. We got to get you on the podcast one night because we have a lot to talk about. But enjoy the time here at Colorado Springs. I know you love the new press box and the new settings here, so enjoy the games.
Thank you, and I'll enjoy the press box too. It's just great to be back here, and I can't wait to see what these cadets and more cadets have to offer us.
Thank you, Nikolai Busko, the voice of Golden Knights. I almost said it. Black Knights hockey here at Air Force today as we get ready for the rivalry weekend. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
It's been too long, but I'm back at Air Force. I got Frank Serratore with me, the head coach of the Falcons. Coach,
you're part of the neighborhood now.
Yeah, I'm just up the street.
Yeah.
33 minutes. I timed it today.
There's a lot worse places in the world you could end up, let me just tell you.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Rivalry weekend, the military academy rivalry weekend. You didn't get the chance to play Army last year, but you're coming into this, what I think is pretty hot. 2 sweeps, one at home, one on the road. Tell us about those first, Frank.
Well, first of all, yes, rivalry weekend. Army, Air Force, and hockey, the most special hockey rivalry at the Division I level. There's no question. I'm not saying it's the best. There's some good ones out there. You got Denver and CC. I was a part of that. I was a part of North Dakota and Minnesota. Of course, there's Boston College and Boston University, Michigan State. There's some great rivalries, but this one is the most special, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But in regards to how we got here, it's been a tough journey. Army, we played them 2 years ago. We have 6 players in our locker room that played in that game 2 years ago. We've had a huge turnaround. It's been pretty well publicized. We had lost our senior class 2 years ago. We got one guy left in that class, Alex Schilling, and then our juniors that are going to be playing. They're the only ones that will have played in this series. So we've been chasing it for a couple of years, trying to catch up with classes and young youth, and then we hit the perfect storm. The NCAA. Not only do we lose an entire class, we lose a couple of first-line centers in a row. Then the NCAA decides in their infinite wisdom to give all matriculating athletes a 5th year. So an Air Force team that would be young anyway is extra young because the NCAA's ruling which has basically enabled teams to get old. College hockey's never been older than it is right now. And then the recruiting has changed. Teams have picked up. Instead of going and rebuilding, they're just retooling, and by going into the transfer portal and retooling and reloading instead of rebuilding, and so as a result, college hockey's gotten extremely old, and I got to give our young group credit. The Army team that's going to be coming in here in a couple days. That team was in its infancy when we played 2 years ago. Now they're fully matured. They were in the Final Four last year, lost a heartbreaker to Canisius. They were a Final Four team in our league. This year, they hope to, they aspire to do the same thing. 2 years ago, the team we had, our team this year doesn't even resemble it. It's just a completely different team. Now, moving forward into the question that you originally asked, we were picked to finish 9th in the league this year, and justifiably so with how young we are and what we've done over the last couple of years. But this team, I don't want to call our team young anymore. You know what? I can call them young, but they're not inexperienced.
Right.
They've gotten a lot of experience. They're very coachable. They've got a lot of spirit. They play a physical game, and they're ahead of the curve in regards to their development curve. They're ahead of it, and we've won 6 of our last 8 games. In those wins, hey, there's no bad teams in college hockey anymore. There just isn't. Everybody's deep. Everybody's old. But 6 of those wins, 2 came against Canisius, 2 came against Niagara, and then 2 on the road last weekend, Mercyhurst. And for me, that was the final hurdle for our young group to kind of say, okay, we're back, we've arrived. Now we believe in our heart that we have not just a legitimate chance to win every night, but a realistic, that we believe in our hearts, deep in our hearts, that we can win. Those 2 road wins at Mercyhurst were huge. So I guess where I'm going with this thing is we're legit right now. Now, how well are we going to do? It's going to be tough every weekend. This Army team that's coming in, Brian Riley's got a really, and Zach McKelvey, they've got a terrific team, and they'll have 12 or 13 juniors and seniors. Like I said, we'll have 5 or 6. So it's going to be challenging every weekend. But we do believe in our hearts with the journey, the track that we're on, and the success that we've had of late. We really believe that we can win every night.
2 things that jumped out at me. I looked at my calendar to make sure it was January because I saw Air Force starting to roll. And I thought, that doesn't happen until 1st of February in my book normally, as you're building towards the tournament time. So you're starting a little early in my book, which is good. The other thing is things are happening with AIC moving up in the pairwise. If one of you guys can sneak in and win that tournament, there's a chance that Atlantic Hockey could see 2 teams in the tournament for the first time in a long time.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that could happen hypothetically. You're getting way ahead of me right now. You're light years ahead. No, you're light years ahead of me. That's not even on my radar. But if we were to get a team that got into the top 10 or top 12, that were assured an at-large bid into the tournament, there's no question in a one-game playoff, especially in a one-game playoff in the Final Four, for somebody to be able to upset AIC is not is far from out of the realm of possibility. To be honest with you, Scott, right now, what we're focused on as a group, we were picked to finish 9th. And right now, presently, we're in 5th. Our goal as a team right now, has been, there's 6 buys out there, first round buys. And our goal is to earn one of those first round buys. In order to do that, we're going to need to get points, pretty much get some points on every weekend. And that weekend includes Army. And who are we in competition with mostly for those spots right now? Well, one of them is Army. So to me, I would be shocked if Brian and Zach aren't telling their boys the same thing. We need points every weekend. We want to get one of those first round buys. And, right now, Army and Air Force, I think we're playing obviously for bragging rights for the service academies, but we're more than that. We're for this year and this year's teams, we're battling for points so we can solidify one of our standing and earn one of those first round playoff buys.
Another thing I looked at was the pairwise. They come in 43. You guys are 44. You're right next to each other. Your records are almost identical. You're both 9-win teams at the moment. One of the teams, if you're fortunate enough to sweep this weekend, is going to be back to 500. All of those are big things in themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, again, you're way ahead of me. I have no idea where. Unless I'm in the top 20, I'm not looking at the pairwise, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the next opponent and what our goals are, and obviously we're not going to finish in the top 15 and get an at-large bid. We're going to have to earn our way into the tournament the hard way. We're going to have to win a lot of playoff games to get to the NCAA tournament. But we can make the route a little less arduous if we can get that first round bye, and then you just have to win one series, and then you get to a Final Four where it's a single elimination, and as we know and have we seen in the past, anything can happen, and usually when we've gotten in that situation, good things have happened for the Air Force Falcons.
Okay, so the rivalry games this weekend are right here. They're sold out. That's exciting. But tell us what the difference is between the rivalries that you just told me about earlier and this one. What makes this one special?
Well, I think what makes it special is, the other ones I've been a part of, Minnesota, North Dakota, they have a genuine dislike for each other. The fans do, the players do. CC and Denver, genuine dislike for each other. It just, it's the nature of the beast. Michigan State, Boston College, Boston University, the coaching staffs recruit against each other, the bragging rights between all those schools. Well, we have bragging rights too, and it's important for us to to win that series, for our boys to win that, for our fans to win that. But there's not a dislike for the other entity. There's a deep mutual respect when it gets to the service academies. Our players know what their players go through on a daily basis in terms of, academically, militarily, athletically. Our staff knows what their staff goes through. Their staff knows what our staff goes through. So there's a deep respect, and these games will be fiercely competitive, and they will be physical, they will be hard fought, but at the end there's not going to be any hatred. There's going to be two teams are going to go to the center ice after pounding each other for 2 nights. They're going to go to center ice and they're going to salute the fans with a show of solidarity. The seniors are going to go to center ice and stand together on the red line when the alma maters are playing. Our seniors are going to be badly outnumbered this year, but that's what makes it special. You don't see that. You won't see that in any of the other rivalries, the ones I mentioned, or any of the other rivalries in the country. Hey, you go down to Union and RPI. There's a bajillion of them all around the country, and they're all great college hockey rivalries. But ours is special. Ours is the most special.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Coach Riley told me last night that he thinks part of the mutual respect is that these guys might become teammates off the ice as part of the service academies in the future. So there might be some mutual respect there as well.
Well, it's not a might. They will be. Yeah. They're going to be in the armed forces together. There's no might about it. I mean, we'll be fighting. We'll be on the same team. Fighting for our freedom. That's what these guys do. And again, no, there's no question about it. That's a big part of it, and it's the biggest part of it. Hey, when the boys from CC and Denver graduate, they all go their separate ways. Do they run into each other every once in a while? Yeah, but basically, Air Force, Army, Navy, we're all going to go work for the same corporation.
How important is it to have this building full like it's going to be for your home ice advantage?
Well, to be honest with you, we're used to playing in front of full houses here. We're very blessed. There's a lot of empty buildings in college hockey, unfortunately. It's a great level of hockey. It's entertaining. There's a lot of talent, and that's proven itself with the number of former college players that are playing in the NHL right now. It's a fabulous level of hockey, and I don't know, why some of these teams throughout the country, even some very prominent teams, don't draw better. But we're used to drawing good crowds. We have a great fan base here, and we're used to playing in front of capacity crowds or near capacity crowds. So obviously that's something that is not a deterrent. It helps us, but it's not just going to help us this weekend. It helps us every weekend.
Well said. Final one for you. Give us the health of your team. We're a little bit past midway through the season now. How is everything?
Well, we're a little dinged up, and to be honest with you, we believe, talking with Joe Doyle and Andy and Chad Demers and Jacques Lamoureux, and we really believe the biggest enemy out there to us isn't any particular opponent. The enemy to us, the biggest enemy we could have would be the injury bug, because we aren't deep. We're a year away from having the 5-line depth that you need to withstand injuries, that 8 or 9 defenseman depth that you need to withstand the injuries. We're a year away from that. We're just over 4 lines. We're just over 6, 7 defensemen, and we can't afford to get hit hard by the injury bug. And we've got some guys questionable for this weekend, but that's the way it's going to be. That's the bad news. The good news is 2 weeks ago we were about to play Niagara, and I got a phone call from Alex Schilling saying that he was contact traced and he's got the COVID and is not going to be available on the weekend. Then I get a call from Sammy Brennan, who was our leading scorer at the time, one of our best defensemen, saying he wasn't going to be available. And I'm going, oh my Lord, we're going on without our veteran starting goalie, and we're going in without our leading scorer, who's also one of our best defensemen. And we went in, and freshman Guy Blessing filled in for Shills. We had Jasper Lester, a freshman who hadn't played much, joined our D-corps, and our group it took the next man up kind of mentality, and we took that into that series with Niagara, and And they got it done. And to be honest with you, I wasn't so sure that we would. Hey, I knew that we'd play hard, we play well, and But if you had said, I wouldn't have bet the house that we would have won both games without those two guys in our lineup. But that showed me and told me a lot about the group of kids, the group of guys that we have in our locker room.
Coach, appreciate your time as always. It's going to be a fun weekend. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Scott.
Well, welcome in, hockey fans. It is rivalry week again. Last week I saw Colorado College Denver. This week I'm seeing the special rivalry. I've got the head coach from Army with me, Brian Riley. Brian, we talked on the podcast, so I know a little bit about Army hockey this year, but I want to know about the rivalry. What makes this so special?
Well, I think that's the key thing, right? Special. There's a lot of great rivalries in college hockey. Obviously, Army Air Force is one, but to me, this is special because for 2 nights, 120 minutes total, well, probably 125 because they usually go into overtime, but you have 2 teams that try to beat the heck out of each other, which you have in any rivalry. But there's this respect that I think is there that you don't see in other rivalries, because when these games are over, our seniors, and all these players someday are going to be on the same team. Sure. So to see our players after these games lined up shoulder to shoulder is pretty special. So yeah, I'm just honored to say that I'm a part of it.
And the other thing with rivalries, coaches come and go. But right here between your 2 programs, you guys have been here a long time, both Frank and yourself. And I think that stability, that discipline, that all defines service academies, right?
For sure. And I think also over time, I knew of Frank when he was coaching. I didn't really know him. So when this rivalry started, there was a little bit of I don't want to say hate, but now it's Frank and I have been able to establish a relationship, but more importantly, a friendship. And we both want to beat each other, but I know that if I was struggling, and there have been times where I have reached out to Frank or he has reached out to me, and vice versa. So again, to me, that's part of what makes it the special rivalry.
And the other thing I think, Brian, that jumps out is a lot of teams have rivalries and their players are here for a year or 2 and then they're gone. They either go NHL contracts or whatever. You guys are here for 4 years. They stay here. They get their commitments. They do what they have to do. And I think ultimately that's a rivalry that can't be matched.
For sure. We're not going to have guys leaving after 1 or 2 years. We're not going to be bringing in guys from the transfer portal that may only play in this rivalry for 1 year or 2 years. So that's a great point. These kids, and I'm sure the same for Air Force, in our league, they will remember some games, but the Army Air Force games, you will remember every one of those games.
Right. I've had a chance to visit with a few players from Air Force. I've got a couple of your players I'm visiting with, and I ask them all one question when we get towards the end of the interview. 30 minutes before game time, what's going through your mind? How are you feeling? What's your body like?
Yeah, I'm sure that on both sides they're excited. They have butterflies. But what I always tell our guys is it's intensity over emotion. So you will see. Intense guys out there all weekend. It's when you let your emotions get the best of you that you can get in trouble, right? So you have to manage that, but you can't lose that intensity level every shift.
I had a chance to visit with your voice, Nikolai Busko, and I told Nikolai, I said, 7,000 feet here at the Air Force Academy, it affects Nikolai and myself. He told me it did not affect him, by the way. But anyway, I said, how does that affect the players? And I'll give you an example. I watched Western Michigan come in about a month and a half ago to play Denver, and I thought by the 3rd period of Game 2, they were beat. They were beaten down. Is that a concern for you, or are you guys ready physically to handle the elevation?
You know what? We don't talk about it, but heck, I just felt it walking up the stairs here. I I'm not going to lie. I think it's a definite home ice advantage for Air Force, and but if you talk about it and you make excuses, then you just need. Yeah, exactly. So we just need to find a way to battle through it, and you know what? I'm confident that our guys will. Hey, I know, and it happens every time we come out here. You have to weather some storms. Yep. That is going to happen. And the first night, the first period, they want to deliver a knockout punch. So that's why even in our practice today, we wanted to make sure that we were going at a good pace. Hopefully today's practice was actually what our first period will be like tomorrow, so the guys are ready for it.
I hear you. Right down below us is the cadet section here. I'm sure you're used to it in your building with your students and cadets, but ready for those guys?
Oh yeah. I mean that's what makes college hockey fun. Heck, it's like a gauntlet. I have to walk by them at the start of every period. So, but we always have an officer representative with us. So I think, he's dressed in uniform. So I think that kind of holds their cadets back a little bit. I'm sure they might want to say some other things, but no, it's all in good fun.
Tell us about your team right now. You guys both come in looking to get to 500. A sweep for either side would, I believe, get you to 500. But it's much more than that. It's the rivalry, and it's fighting for positioning in Atlantic hockey.
Yeah, hey, the bottom line is this weekend is no different than last weekend or next weekend from a standpoint of the 6 points that are on the line, sure. Right? Like that. That's what it's all about. And for us, trying to come up with points every weekend. We got off to a rough start. We weren't playing poorly at the start of the year. We were just trying to learn how to win. And then we got on a little bit of a roll, and then Christmas came, and then we're starting all over. So it's like we win one, we lose one. We win one, we lose one. So we're just, for us right now, trying to find that consistency level as you come down the backstretch, which what we're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, service academies, when I visit with the players, they're so disciplined. They're so structured. Does that make a difference on the ice? You've coached different groups, and yep. How much of a difference is that?
Well, you know what? I've never known a team that was disciplined that has cost them to lose games. I've known plenty of teams that play undisciplined that lose games. So discipline is one of our pillars, and why shouldn't it be? It's a way of life at West Point. It's a way of life at Air Force. I think, you know what, both of our teams, the expectations are, we don't talk about it a lot. I mean, every now and then somebody takes a bad penalty. You make sure that you address it with them and the team. So yeah, discipline is really important. But like I said, this is something that these guys live with every single day, whatever academy that they're at.
Okay, so we talk about goaltending. It's always the most important thing in college hockey, at any level of hockey, but your goaltenders look really good today in practice. They both look sharp. I have a feeling you can go either way, but I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, you know what? You want to be a good team, have a good goalie. Right? So we've been very fortunate that when we put Gavin Abrick in this year, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's given us a chance to win just about every game that he's been in. And so, but the good news is Justin Evenson is right behind him, just waiting for that opportunity. So, so we're not a high-powered offensive team, so we need to have good goaltending. And I think Gav has been our most valuable player for us. So he's going to have to be big out here because, like I said, we're going to have to weather storms. You always do out here. So your goalie's got to be ready to make 35-plus saves.
Tell me about your offense part of it. You said you don't have a lot of offense, but I know from what I've heard anyway that you've got a heck of a face-off guy in Brody. You also have a guy that can shoot the puck a million times in Colin. So tell me a little bit about those two particularly.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have good offensive players. Like We just haven't been scoring many 5-on-5 goals. Like that's something that we have to start doing, and it's going to come from our older guys. But you just mentioned two guys, Colin Bielik, who when you watch him this weekend, if he has the opportunity to shoot it, he's going to shoot it. And he has a pro release. But the other thing that you will notice him just because of his work ethic, right? That's why he has the letter C on his jersey. And Eric Butte, he's one of the top face-off men in the country. But same thing with him. You will notice him because of his energy level. So we have great leaders, but those two guys are outstanding leaders for us. They set a great example. They kind of show everyone else on our team, hey, this is how you do it. You know what? Whether it be in practice or games. So they are great role models for their teammates.
I'm looking forward to the rivalry, but I'm looking to it more to it just from the standpoint that college hockey, the United States, the world has gone through this pandemic. It scared a lot of people. It made a lot of people nervous. We lost a lot of lives, but we're coming back. And I think this is so important to everyday life as well as college hockey.
Absolutely. I wish that this series, at least one of these games, or maybe the second game for sure, was broadcast on TV. So I think people would see what is good about college sports, not just college hockey, but college sports, right? And when, like I said, when you see these teams at the start of the game standing at attention while the national anthem is being played, and then at the end of the game when they're playing each school's alma mater, it's really special. So, again, there's a lot of tough things that have gone on the last 2 years, but this is one of the good things, this series.
I do have to ask you about the remodeling here. You can hear the banging in the background. They're not done yet, but they made some changes here to the Cadet Ice Arena. Your thoughts on it?
Looks great. You know what? I think this is awesome, and I'm glad that some of our people are coming out so they can see it, because this is what I'm going to say to them. Hey, you know what? This is what they're doing at the Air Force Academy. So we're in like an arms race, but with the facilities race. So I'm glad they did it, because hopefully this will help me to send a message to some of the people back at West Point.
Ryan, I appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. I'm sure we'll touch base several more times. So I look forward to it. I look forward to documenting it. And more importantly, I look forward to getting to West Point sometime and documenting some stuff right from there.
For sure. Now that you've been here to the Air Force Academy, there's two service academies that play college hockey. So you need to get out to the other one out there to West Point. But you know what? I appreciate all that you do to help promote this game of college hockey, and it's been a pleasure being with you here today.
Well, I always appreciate that. That's our goal, grow the game of hockey wherever and whenever and however.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much.
Really, JR, you think you can still do this?
I'm focused.
You're way too old to hit that target from there.
I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded.
All right, still got it. Still got it.
Who's old now?
Well, welcome back in, hockey fans, NCAA hockey fans. It's another rivalry weekend. Last weekend, I spent it with Colorado College and Denver. Okay. This one, I'm getting what's called the special rivalry. Yeah. The coach just told me it's special, so I know it is. So this is Air Force and Army right here at Cadet Ice Arena. I've got Captain Luke Rowe with me. Luke, where do we start on this, right? I mean, last year you guys really wanted to have them come out here and play. COVID jumped up and caused a problem. Now you're finally getting them. It's getting close to reality. You're going to have a sold-out barn both nights. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are so excited. Like, it's such a unique rivalry. Yeah. Like, everyone out here is going to be doing something, serving their country in whatever way they will be. And like, it's one of those things where on the ice we hate each other, we're rivals, but off the ice, we're brothers. So, it's really special. Me personally, I've never played them at home. Right. No one on our team has, actually. we have 6 guys that have played against them in our entire lineup, so it's going to be super special for all the guys to play their first series against Army at home in a sold-out crowd. So we're really excited.
I just told Coach Sartori, I said I had to look at my calendar, and I found out it was January because normally I see Air Force making their move February, March, tournament time. Yeah. You guys started early, coming off of 2 great sweeps, one at home, one on the road. You won 6 of your last 8. What's changed? What's made you guys better?
You know, I don't know if anything has necessarily changed. Like we're trying to play the same way, same system, same mindset. I think if I gotta pick something that is altered a bit, I'd say like just the confidence of the guys in the room. And I mean, we have such a close team, and everyone wants to fight for each other. So I think just the younger guys getting that experience and getting that confidence and kind of getting comfortable with our systems more and more as the season goes on. It's starting to click really well, and we're firing on all cylinders.
So you're still young, but you're a different type of young. You're an experienced young now. I talk a lot to college players about this time of year, and I say, are you still a freshman, for those guys, or have you advanced beyond that? Have your freshmen advanced beyond being a real freshman now?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the school would disagree up on the hill, but they still got some of their rules they got to follow. But, yeah, like experience-wise, they're like, all the freshmen that have been in the lineup this year have played more games than I did my freshman year. Like these guys they have a lot of experience. They're playing well. They're playing with confidence. And I mean, it's you can't look at a guy as a freshman anymore when he's got 18, 19, 20 games played. Right. So they're getting the experience they need. They're getting the reps in practice, and they're doing well with it.
You guys have had your share of adversity again this year. You had guys out with COVID. You had guys out with injuries, but past couple of weekends, guys are stepping up. New guys are taking their place. I'm talking about Guy Blessing for one, but you have other guys that are stepping up too, and it's just next man up mentality to its finest. Yeah,
I mean, next man up. It's got to be how it is, and we have we need to have a deep lineup through and through, and Guy Blessing steps in. He plays incredible. Jasper Lester, when Sammy Brennan's gone, Jasper Lester, Drake Usher, they step up and they play amazing, and they're playing like they've been here for years. So it's awesome, and like I said, that next man up mentality. It's not just it's not just about the game itself. It's about they're playing for like their teammate to the left and to the right of them, their partner, their winger, their center, whoever it is, and it's really cool. And when guys are getting opportunities, they're taking advantage of it, and that's all you can really ask for.
Down the road at Colorado College and up the road at Denver, they play in the NCHC, and it's fierce every weekend. Atlantic hockey's gotten a little fierce, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, with all the transfers, with the transfer portal, the chaos that was last year, and the amount of unbelievable talent coming in, guys 5th years who were playing at big time schools who are big time players, they're coming in. I mean, look at the Hobie Baker nominees. There's Mercyhurst has 3, Army has 3, I think Canisius has 3. Like this league's nothing to shake your head at, and there's a lot of talent, and weekend after weekend it's a grind.
Coach told me I was getting way, way far ahead of him, but you look at the pairwise right now, and you see AIC is playing pretty well and moving up. I think it opens the door for 2 teams in the Atlantic hockey. I know it's a big step, but it starts in the tournament, getting that first round bye, then moving your way up. But if AIC was to get an automatic bid from where their placement is, and you guys or Army or whoever it might be knocks them off in the tournament championship and takes another spot, how big is that for Atlantic hockey or for your program to get that bid?
Yeah, I mean, maybe getting a little bit ahead, but that'd just be incredible. How many times has this team been to the tournament and knocked off, made it to the final 8 twice, and they show up when things matter. This organization has a good history of that, so we're just going to take it one game at a time, get to the playoffs, and kind of chip away weekend after weekend and try to get to that ultimate goal of making it to the tournament.
I know you guys play one game at a time, but tell me, if you can, what you're going to feel on Friday night before you get on the ice, when you're on the ice, knowing who's across from you, knowing the linebacker 2 uniforms you're going to be wearing. Do you have any idea what that's going to feel like?
I have a little taste. When last time I played Army, we were at Army, so not necessarily like our home crowd at all. I mean, we had a lot of friends and family out there, but all the guys' friends and families are coming out, and the cadet wing is showing up big time, and it's just going to be such a cool experience. We're so excited. I mean, every night I've been watching Army Air Force Pass series, just getting fired up for the weekend. So it's kind of hard. I feel like a little kid. It's kind of hard to keep it all inside, but yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Luke Rowe, appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. Go Falcons.
Go Falcons. Thank you very much.
Welcome back in. It is another rivalry weekend. This is a special rivalry, though. As you can see, I've got Army. We're at Air Force. It is two service academies. I got the captain, Colin Bielek, with me. Colin, first of all, welcome in and welcome to Colorado Springs.
Thanks for having me. I'm super pumped.
Okay, you guys travel in from New York. It's not an easy trip to get here, but you're here now. You got to practice in. Your thoughts on being at 7,000 feet, first of all?
Yeah, I haven't been out here since my freshman year, so it's always a fun trip coming out here, especially with the rivalry. But it was a long trek yesterday, but the boys are super excited, and we're always excited to jump on the plane and go to some different places. So being out here in Colorado is special for us, and we're just excited to get going.
Tell me about West Point. I know a little bit about Air Force. I've been here for a little while now, seeing these guys. But what's West Point? What's it like? What's it like from the start for you?
Yeah, that's kind of a tough question because it's hard to explain when to people who aren't like going through it. But you know, your freshman year is a tough year, and kind of as you progress through the years, like school and life get a little easier on you. But it's definitely a tough place to be at. Because it really tests you, and that's something that our whole team is proud of. Like we take a lot of pride in being at West Point and wearing the Army jersey, but you know, we're just kind of a blue collar group in that locker room, and we're darn proud to be out here and to be able to wear a jersey representing the Army.
So we talk about things on the ice, and we talk about discipline that you're on off the ice. How does that translate over? And as a captain, are there things that you have to make comments about time to time, or do the guys pretty much step in line?
You know what? I think the key to every good team is the leadership. But the nice thing about our team is that we got a group that really doesn't need to be led, because everybody's always pushing in the same direction. That's what makes the guys wearing letters and the older guys on our team, our job's a lot easier when you got a group that is just so bought into what we're already trying to accomplish. So you know, the guys do a great job on their own. Sometimes as a leader, you got to step up, and you got to you know, be vocal and lead by example, especially on the ice when games are tight or tensions are high. But you know, we got a really good group and a real disciplined group that pretty much runs itself.
Everybody I've talked to for this feature, I've asked them one question. 30 minutes before game time, what's going to be going through your stomach, through your mind? What are you going to be feeling?
You know what? As big as this rivalry is, you get some butterflies before the game, but I played, you know, I don't know how many hockey games in my life, but it's just another hockey game. The build up to it is definitely a lot different. It feels a lot different. Air Force Week is always a lot different, especially when we're on the ice during practice back home. But, you know, it's just another hockey game when the puck drops. And, you know, our effort is going to be the same as every game. And, you know, it's just kind of a special thing when the buzzer drops or the buzzer rings, and hopefully we're up on top. But you know, it's just another hockey game, and we might be a little nervous those 30 minutes before the game, but especially for the freshmen, their first time in an Air Force Week, and our sophomores too, because we didn't get a chance to play Air Force last year. But you know, we got a lot of veteran guys in there that can ease the tensions, and it's just a real exciting time.
You play in the AIC, in the Atlantic Conference. AIC is the dominant team, I guess, right this year. But this means a lot in points, doesn't it? It's a big weekend for your program and Air Force's program to see who comes out on top. It gets you back to 500, either one of you with a sweep. Are you thinking about that, or just thinking about getting the win on Friday night?
Yeah, of course. That's always, the standings are always in the back of your head. But Coach always says, you know, you can't worry about the standings. You got to worry about the game that's right ahead of you. So we're worried about tomorrow, and then, you know, when those wins start piling up, that's when the standings just take care of themselves. So we're real excited to be two good opportunities for us to put some points in the bank. But you know, we're not too focused on the logistics of what the standings are looking like. But after the weekend, you know, we'll take a look then.
You know, I know last year was difficult because you guys were really, really good, and I thought you kind of got robbed from going to a national tournament. Was it difficult to put that behind you when the season started, or were you able to just say, hey, you know what, it was, and it's a new year, new season, we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a sour taste in our mouth. I mean, we made it to the Final Four, and I thought that when we played Canisius, you know, we didn't play our best game, but we ended up getting booted out of in the semifinals, and we were kind of hoping to still get a look nationally, but you know, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and especially for the sophomores and the juniors and the seniors this year. You know, those guys, we're all in that room because we want to win hockey games and we want a chance to win a championship. So when something like that happens, definitely leaves a sour taste in your mouth, but you find a way to move on to it, but you also use it as motivation. So this year's been, you know, it's been a lot more consistent, playing games every single weekend. Haven't had too much trouble, knock on wood, with any COVID issues. So, you know, when we're playing games this consistently, it's good to get the ball rolling, but, you know, the second half of the season, the standings are so tight in the Atlantic Conference that every weekend is just a huge weekend.
Coach just told me that anytime the puck's on your stick, look for it to be shot. He said you have a pro release, you can shoot the puck with anybody. Is that number one for you? If it's there, you're shooting it?
Yeah, I like to think so. I like to play to my strengths, and I think shooting the puck is one of those. So when the puck's on my tape, I'm not afraid to let it go. But, you know, we got a lot of guys on this team that aren't afraid to shoot the puck, and we got a lot of guys that can make plays too. So, you know, it's just a matter of time before when the puck drops this weekend that everybody's going to be firing on all cylinders. Everybody's playing their best game or playing their best hockey this weekend. This is a special weekend, so but yeah, of course, I like to play to my strength and stuff like that. So when the puck's on my tape, I'll let it fly.
I just watched practice end up. I watched you guys do the old shootout drill, and I thought you got two really good goaltenders. How important are those two for you and the success of Black Knights hockey?
Yeah. Goaltending is huge for us. We are a super disciplined team in the defensive end. So when it comes to goaltending, you know, I think that can be a great strength for every team. But ever since I've been here at Army, I've been fortunate enough to have some really good goaltenders. Trevin Kozlowski last year, he was an All-American, and he's playing professionally right now, and he did a heck of a job leading our team last year. And Gavin Abrick's doing a heck of a job keeping us in games this year, and it's just you know, we're and Justin Evenson as well, and it's just been, we're fortunate to have coaching staff that's got a good eye to find some good goaltenders.
Final one for you. Tell everybody out there what you're going to do with your degree at West Point, because I think there's another guy here at Air Force that's doing the same thing, and I was shocked. But tell everybody what it's going to be. What do you want to do?
I am a geospatial information science major. A lot of people, when I tell them what it is, they don't know what it is, but I do a lot of mapping and land surveying and satellite imaging. So to be honest with you, I haven't looked that far ahead yet. So as of right now, I'm branching field artillery, and I guess I'll find out where I'm posted within the coming weeks. But I got those 5 years ahead of me, and then I guess we'll play it by ear from there.
Final thing is, how did you end up at West Point? Was it something that you wanted to do for a long time? Was it a family thing? Was it something that just happened and you're here and now it's winding down?
Yeah, it feels like yesterday that I was a freshman. The time has flown by. You know, it's a special place because the family that I got inside that locker room is second to none, and it's super special because of that, and especially the coaching staff. I love our coaching staff, and I was incredibly fortunate to be recruited by them. I got recruited when I was playing in the North American Hockey League, and I come from a military family, but I never thought I'd be going the military route. I was actually pretty against going into the military, or not against it, but I just didn't see it as one of my options. Right. And then, you know, when Chris McKelvey, who's Zach's brother, at the time was the assistant, he recruited me, and I came on a visit, and as soon as you meet this coaching staff, all you want to do is shake their hand and commit right there, because it's a special group, and we got coaches that truly care about you as a hockey player, but they love you as a person, and that's why it's so fun playing here, and it's been an incredible experience, and it really has flown by being a senior, and you know, I'm not taking anything for granted, especially this weekend. So it's just a real special place.
Colin, I especially appreciate you taking the time to visit with us, because I know it means a lot to you. I can see it in your eyes. So good luck this weekend, and go Army, go Black Knights.
That's right. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Really, JR? You think you can still do this?
I'm focused.
You're way too old to hit that target from there.
I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded.
All right, still got it. Still got it.
Who's old now?
Well, welcome back in, hockey fans. It's Rivalry Weekend. It's a big series. You can see behind me, I'm at Air Force. I've got Bennett Norland with me. Bennett, where do we start on this one, right? Starting to feel it yet this week?
I think so. I think, once we landed back from Mercyhurst, I think it's okay. Now it's Army Week, so it's been exciting. We're definitely excited to tee it off on Friday.
I said to Coach Saratori, I said, hey, you got sold-out building both nights. He goes, hey, we always have good fans here. Is that fair?
We always do have good fans here, but I'm especially excited for this weekend. I think even for me, it's been hard to get tickets for my family. So we're like I said, we're excited.
Okay, so this rivalry is special, Coach told me, and I know about it, but this will be the first time I've been in the building for it. You've seen it. You know what it's about. Last year was kind of a bummer that COVID jumped in. You weren't able to play them here. They're coming now. They'll be here tonight. They'll be ready for you. But it's special in the fact that once you guys are done on the ice and once you've done here at the academy, you're going to be teammates in real life.
Yeah, obviously we're going to play hard. We don't like them on the ice. They don't like us. But like you said, once we hear that buzzer, we're teammates. We have a ton of respect for them, like they do to us. And like you said, once we graduate, we're all pulling on the same rope. So I think that's what makes this rivalry special.
So a lot of people don't know, and I ask all your teammates when I visit with them, and this is the first time we've had a chance to visit, but give me your experience about being here at Air Force at the academy, what it's been like on and off the ice.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical college routine day to day, but I wouldn't trade anything for the world. The people that I've met here, they're all special to me. It's been awesome.
When growing up, did you know you wanted to be a cadet?
I really was introduced to USAFA from hockey. That was it. Pretty much, I was actually in a tournament out here, and that's when I got the recruiting call. So that kind of turned me on to the whole thing.
Was it a difficult decision to enter into the academy and play hockey as opposed to maybe choosing somewhere else?
I think it's always a big choice for us coming here because you're committing to play hockey, but you're also committing to something so much bigger than yourself. So I think you have to take the time to think about that, and luckily it worked out for me.
Military commitment is not an easy thing to jump into. It takes some time to I suppose, let it run through your head what you're going to be doing, things like that. How important is serving your country to you?
It's something that my family has never even served, or I guess I've never had anyone in my family serve. So I'll be the first, but it's something that you grow up playing hockey and you're always on a team, and here it's the same thing. You kind of have that team atmosphere. You go to school, you wear the same uniform, you're doing the same stuff. So it's going to be really cool.
Being an older guy on this team, and there's not many older guys on this team, but talk a little bit about what you can tell the freshmen and what you will tell the freshmen Friday, half hour before game time.
I'll tell them to have fun. We get a game like this twice every year. My freshman year at West Point is something I'll never forget. The building was rocking that night. It's special. I'll just tell them to have fun and go up and play hard.
College hockey this year is deeper than ever. The Atlantic hockey is no joke from top to bottom. You guys are in a great position right now to get a home first-round bye. How important is that to you guys?
Yeah, it's something that we're looking to strive for. We're just trying to take it one day at a time. I think, playing here, it's always such a big advantage, with our fans, the elevation too at 7,000 feet. So I think it's something that if we can get it, it'll definitely help us.
All right, final one for you. Nothing to do with the rivalry, but when I got a Minnesota kid on, I got to talk Minnesota a little bit.
Yep.
Two things. Hockey Day in Minnesota. Think about that for a minute,
Okay.
what that means to you. And did you ever think that you were going to see 6 NCAA Division I programs in the state of hockey?
That's pretty wild, huh? I never thought about it. Yeah, it's great for the state, great for the sport there, and it's only getting bigger, so it's exciting.
Hockey Day thoughts?
I never was really part of it. I unfortunately never got to play in the game, but I've always watched. Seeing Mankato and St. Thomas play last weekend in the snow, that's incredible. That was awesome. Something I'm definitely jealous of.
That's the way hockey's meant to be played. Bennett,
Absolutely.
appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. Go Falcons.
Go Falcons. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hockey fans, I don't get to see these guys very often, but I got somebody from Army here because it's rivalry week. We're here at the Air Force Academy because Army's traveled out to take on the Falcons. John Karanen is with me. So, John, first of all, welcome to the mountains.
Thank you.
You've been here before, I'm sure, but tell me a little bit about battling Air Force.
I've only played them one weekend, and so far it's been my most fun experience of college hockey. Just the attitudes in the rink and the atmosphere of the games has been unreal, and we happened to sweep that weekend, so that was a real fun time.
It's a strange situation we're in with COVID, and last year you were supposed to come here and play them, and COVID put the kibosh on that. Now you're finally here. Is it what you expected so far when you walked in, saw this place, and what do you expect from a full house?
My first impressions of this place were kind of what I expected, just a much more newer academy compared to West Point. Everything seems a little bit more modern,
Right.
which, it looks very nice here, a lot of space, and I think it will be very fun if this place, I've heard it's sold out, so if this place gets packed, that's going to be a fun weekend.
Last weekend I did the rivalry between Colorado College and Denver, NCHC, Colorado, all of that stuff, but everybody's telling me that this rivalry is special. It's different.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
I think the reason people say that is because, we're big college hockey rivals, but at the end of the day, I think we're both committing to serve our country. And so further down the road, if we're in a conflict militarily-wise, we might be on the same team for that. So we're on different teams now playing against each other for some points in the Atlantic Hockey Conference, but further down the road, we may be on the same team fighting towards a common goal.
Everybody out here in the Southwest, and I'm calling this the Southwest, we're actually expanding. We're going to be the West here pretty soon, and probably be the whole country before long. But tell us about West Point. What's it like? What was your first impression? Why did you want to become a cadet?
It's very structured, I'll tell you that. Compared to what I'm used to, there's a lot of structure to the day, but I like it. It's very busy. It really fills your time, keeps you busy, but I feel like it's helping me develop as a person and kind of pushing myself to be a better version of myself.
Let's talk about on the ice. Coach Riley is one of a kind. What's it like to play for Coach Riley?
It's great. He gives the players an opportunity to go out and play and do our best, and he puts us in a position to succeed, and I've had a lot of fun.
Playing in the Atlantic Conference this year is different. A lot of teams got older guys coming in. You guys, unfortunately, don't get that opportunity. Maybe it's unfortunate. I don't know. But what's the Atlantic Conference hockey been like this year, and has it been different from years past?
Not totally. Some teams have gotten some transfers in from other schools, whereas the academies don't really get that. But, I would argue we have a real strong brotherhood because we kind of keep the same group of guys the whole way through. But to me, it doesn't seem like it has changed too much. So, yeah.
You guys are a little bit older than Air Force. They only have one senior on this roster. Is that something you guys can use to your advantage, certainly this week?
I would hope so, yeah. More games means more experience, so hopefully that means we can use that experience to hopefully help us win.
Tell everybody out here in the Southwest what your style is, not only personally, but as a team. What do you guys want to do?
This weekend, I think we're just looking to bring a lot of energy because I know Air Force, they'll be thinking about that last weekend we had against them where we came away with 6 points, so we know that they're going to be coming hard against us, so we're going to try and match that energy and just play a hard game.
7,000 feet of altitude bother you or not bother you?
I haven't really had to get my heart rate up yet, so we'll see once I get out on the ice.
Well, then you're not like me, because walking up these stairs to the press box, I know what it's like. But okay, John, tell me a little bit about this weekend. What's it going to be like when you're in that locker room 30 minutes before game time, knowing that it's Air Force you're playing, knowing that it's a packed building, and it's for all the marbles of the service academies?
Yeah, I think I'll have a big feeling of excitement for many reasons. A, it's the Service Academy rivalry, and there's a big meaning behind that. And B, one of my lifelong childhood friends plays for Air Force, and we have a big group of people from our hometown coming to watch us, so that'll be exciting for us. And yeah, C, it's a big 6-point weekend, so we're just excited to go out there and just play our best hockey and hopefully come away with all 6.
Okay, you can't leave me on that note. Who is it? Who's your lifelong friend?
Andrew Cruz, actually. His parents are actually my godparents, and his mom stood in my mom's wedding. And we actually, before coming to play college hockey, we were on the same team for 11 years straight. And then I ended up going to Army, and he's now here at Air Force. So.
And let's tell everybody out there, another Minnesota kids, right? So where are you from in Minnesota?
That'd be Delano, Minnesota.
Gotta love it. Minnesotans everywhere you look. At West Point, at the Air Force Academy, it's going to be a great weekend. John, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
From Sucker Son of New Jersey, a sophomore, number 4, Luke Rowe.